Good morning, everyone. It's Krebs here with another Company of Heroes cast for all of you. This time around, I'm just gonna be by myself, and you know what number of casts are we on by now? It's like number 138. I can't even remember how many we're actually up to at the moment. You guys would probably know better than I do. I should probably have gone checked, but that's okay. We're probably on 138 or something around there, maybe 137. But anyway, guys, I need to speak to you on just a one-on-one level just before we get started, just to let you know what's been going on with me. So, a human-based level. I'm really sorry that not many casts have been coming out. I think it's been like something like 5 days since the last cast came out that I did with David, and I just can't believe how fast time goes by. It seems like I just did that cast yesterday, but really just time passes by like a snap, right? It just goes by like that. And there's no way for me to explain it, but there's actually just been so much stuff going on in my life right now. If you haven't checked out the 10,000 subscriber thank you video, I'd recommend checking that out. But if you want me to summarize it right now, of course, I was just thanking all of you for being part of the channel, but I also mentioned some stuff that was going on in my life, such as, if you guys know my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend anyway, she used to sometimes phone me during my casts and stuff like that, and I would be like, oh, I'm gonna have to put you on hold, and why do you always phone me at the wrong time? Well, me and her, after 3.5 years, we broke up, and I basically came down to, I don't know, I don't want to explain it to you guys, I don't want to explain the long story, but in my opinion, people change. I'm not going to say girls change because it happens with guys as well. People change, and it's just really surprising when 1 week they tell you they want to get engaged and they want to be with you in the long term. They just see a future together. They appreciate everything you've done. And literally in the space of a few days that next week, just everything turns to sour for them. They just want to go party and whatever else. So, 'tis the life of human nature and also immaturity. If you've not experienced life, if you only lived with your parents for your entire life and you move down somewhere, then you obviously are a little bit immature. And so I guess in that respect, I can understand human nature. I'm not a dumb person. I can understand these sort of things. However, I don't really accept the fact 3.5 years and everything that's been gone through, two things just end something like that. I mean, it's just not worth it in my opinion when things work so well and things are so happy. But hey ho, that is people for you, and all you can do is move on. And so in the last 2 days, I've been meeting some really good people. I've been contacting some friends that I normally wouldn't have before when I was with my girlfriend, and I've been meeting their friends, and I really am happy that such people exist, and it's absolutely awesome that I'm with such guys. And you know, I've been partying lots and getting to meet new people, obviously new girls and stuff like that, just mostly on the fun side, nothing serious, but I've just been enjoying myself, and I hope you guys can be here with me and just try to understand, oh, barbed wire in the face, try to understand that life is like barbed wire in your face. It really has these spaces where you can climb over easily, but then there's these knobs, these bits that stick out and they'll poke you at times, okay? So I hope you can stick around with me. I'm also starting up university again this week, so you know, I'm gonna try to do at least 2 casts per week, but bear with me, alright guys? Try to understand where I'm coming from. I know you guys have been constantly asking me, when's the next cast? When are you gonna be doing another episode? And I'm gonna try to do it when I can, but you know, I'm a human as well. I've got things going on, and I'm just gonna try to do this when I can for you all, alright? Okay, so today we're going to be doing a 2v2 on Rails and Metal, and it's going to be featuring 2 Brits taking on 2 Wehrmacht in an arranged teams match on VPs, of course. We do not do Annihilation mode on this channel, so if you've ever been thinking about sending me Annihilation replays, probably no point in doing it because it's just not going to happen. I do, oh god, I get the game started, I'm wobbling now, or raffling, whatever the term is. We're at the 5-second mark. We're going to be starting in 3 seconds. So in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, here we go. Right, I was going to say that I'm just waffling. But no, seriously, you guys actually send me in so many replays. I've checked pretty much almost all of them. And admittedly, it is really hard to actually choose a replay. A lot of you actually just send in the title of the replay. You say, you say the following: co-replay. Well, that gives me a lot to work on. Honestly, some of you guys even just send me co-replay, and then in the description of the actual message or the email, you don't say anything, you just attach the replay. That is something that I'm not even going to take a look at, because the amount of replays that I get per day and just how long it takes to actually check these replays, it's just really not worth the time and effort. And also, a lot of times people send me in replays where it's not the most pro-ish, to be honest. And the theme that I try to like to do on this channel is, yes, I do like to do fan-submitted replays, but it is quite rare that I actually do them. The reason is because I tend to go for higher level replays because that keeps everyone happy. So try to think of it from the audience perspective. Imagine you're in the shoes of the audience, a collective shoes of everyone that watches these videos. You want to watch something that will entertain you. You don't want to watch something that's going to be like, oh, why are you doing this wrong? Why are you doing that wrong? Why can't you do something better? So just try to think of it from that perspective. Also include any descriptions in the emails, and just try to keep me, like, you know, a bit sane so I don't go insane when I'm looking at these messages of no messages and just a replay attached to it, okay? Anyway, so let's take a look at what's going on in the field. You can see that everyone is going towards the right-hand side of Rails and Metal. Obviously, this trying to contest this field point. Very, very important for the Brits to try and grab this point, because if they can, that means they can put down their HQ here, lock it down, and prevent the Wehrmacht from actually grabbing it. Very, very vital point. That's why you can see also the Pioneers actually exchanging themselves in the house over here, because if they can do that, they can prevent the Brits from getting inside and just causing a hassle in general. Usually you would grab that just to put an MG inside, but I believe that the MG is just being kept over here to provide hassle on this squad over here, and those Pioneers were just delaying anyone from getting inside the house. Unfortunately, they don't have the capabilities of staying inside the house forever, and so there we go. We've got some Brits holding up inside that abode. Okay, on the right hand side we can see that the field point is being taken up by the Brits. And what can you expect from this replay? Well, a lot of good stuff. It's going to be action right on throughout. If you haven't noticed already, there's a lot of bullets flying already. To be rest assured that many more bullets will be flying, and many artilleries and tank shells shall be flying, okay? We've already got this motorcycle just about going down. Can he get away? Can he get away? And it probably doesn't really look like it. Now, we haven't actually introduced the players that we're looking at today. We're gonna go for the Wehrmacht at first. We've got ArXmariens as one of them, and also ArXtherover as the other one. Hope I'm saying that right. We've also got the Brits, one called DibleBristDubleBloob. I'm guessing that is meant to mean DibleBristDubleBloob. And you can notice that the other player has a very, very similar name. I actually took a look at this and I was thinking to myself, what is the difference between the two? It's usually a difference between the L's and the I's. So you can notice that in this one, I believe that that is an I in the bloob. And if you look over here, that there's a bit more space between the B and the L. And I have a feeling that that is actually an L. Alright, so you can't hide from Krebs' eyes. Your spelling mistakes, your spelling games cannot hide away from every single player's eyes. So anyway, the right hand side looks like it's pretty solidly in the Brits' hands now, managing to actually overcome the Wehrmacht over here, despite them having an MG and also Schimwagen and whatever, sniper just coming out on the field. But it looks like the Brits are just holding on in here. Schimwagen doing a really good job on actually taking out this mortar emplacement. Very important for it to actually be doing that. And funny thing is, like, I remember in the last cast, I think it was maybe the last one or the one before it, me and David were actually talking about, or David and I were actually talking about, what do we prefer, Schimwagens or motorcycles? And we usually talk about motorcycles being the unit of choice because they're expendable units. They die easy, they're cheaper than the Schimwagen. And in general, you know, motorcycles, Jeep, and Schimwagens, they don't really live that long. However, you do pay a bit more for the Schimwagen. They do live a little bit more, a little bit longer, and they also can reverse. So in some situations, when you think of the motorcycle being expendable and it's going to die easy, fair enough. I can understand that. I can understand that why you want to go for the motorcycle rather than the Schimwagen. But in a situation like this, that was actually grand to actually have a Schimwagen instead of the motorcycle. The motorcycle could easily have gone down much quicker than the Schimwagen did right there, but luckily it didn't, and it took out the mortar emplacement for the Brits. Now, unfortunately for the Brits, they don't have a mortar emplacement down. That's a very, very critical part of the strategy here, and part of the success. And if they don't have that mortar down, then that just means that all this stuff over here can pretty much have free roam. They don't have to worry about shells being pummeled down on top of them. Buttoning coming down right on top of the Shimwagen, keeping it in place, and just need to reverse and get out of there. I've actually got a little bit of a sore throat. That's another problem that's going on with my life right now. In the last video when I was talking about the Company of Heroes 2 pre-order, it was like, deep voice, like that, and that was just because of a night out that I had. And I'm just living with the consequences of a little bit of a sore throat right now. I think it's actually because I was working in the pharmacy the other day, and just the amount of sick people that were coming in, they were going, cough, cough, what can you give me for a cough, what can you give me for a sore throat? And I think after all that exposure, some of them must have just like coughed into my mouth or something, I don't know, but the germs or whatever the virus must have gotten into me, and it's probably just taking a little bit of hold on the back of my throat and just causing dryness and whatever else, and it's irritating me a little bit, but hey ho, it's gonna be gone hopefully soon. Anyway, Brit's coming down with a Brent carrier here. I know that there's a totally different battle going on the left-hand side of the map, but it's so hard to take in everything at the same time here. If you really want to see what's happening on the left-hand side, you can easily watch the replay of this match. Shimwagen going down, and this is going to be the bane of the Wehrmacht strategy here. Everything was working perfectly. They had their units, the MG42, they had the Pioneers, they had pretty much everything here to combat the infantry. But as soon as something like this, a Brent carrier with all these men inside, pretty much just a clown car essentially, comes out, it's just so difficult for the Wehrmacht to take on. Notice all these units going down. We saw 2 Pioneer squads, also an MG42, and also that Shimwagen going down pretty much instantly. Horrendous thing to be taking on. Volksgrenadiers really need to get a Panzerfaust off right now. We've got some Stormtroopers just out in the field with their Panzer trucks being upgraded, right? Oh god, we got snipers going down. Wehrmacht taking such heavy losses. It looked like they were actually going to push back the Brits for one chance there, but I guess this Brent carrier was just too much to handle, and that was a very good sacrifice. That's what I'm trying to say here. One Brent carrier for the cost of what, 5 units for the Wehrmacht, and now literally all the Wehrmacht has is just this infantry to work with, the Volksgrenadiers and also the Stormtroopers over here. Let's take a look at what's going on the left-hand side. Whilst there's a little bit of a lull over there. By the way, I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, because I could just... I've got... Oh god, I don't want to tell you my problems. I just got mucus at the back of my throat, and it's getting to me. I'm just going to do a really quick panoramic view here, whilst I have more water. Oh god. Oh, it feels absolutely terrible. It feels absolutely terrible, and I don't want to blow my nose on the microphone, because I know there's some people out there that are gonna be like, "Oh, that's disgusting. Why would you do that?" I don't want to hear people blowing their nose. I know some people are actually like that. But anyway, we've got 3 lieutenants or lieutenants out in the field, and notice how they're helping these guys out over here. They're gonna be doing massive damage now, massive accuracy. Look at that, pretty much down to instantly half health on that MG squad. They're at full health, and look at that, even though they're in the house over here, they just cannot take on all of this. Pioneers coming in with their flames, and this is going to be great to taking on all of these guys, hopefully causing some crits. And the Wehrmacht who is on the left hand side knows that he needs to help the Wehrmacht on the right hand side, because ArXmariens has actually lost basically almost all of his units, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to help him out a little bit. So he came in for that swooping maneuver, just coming in from the behind with his Flame Pioneers and also the Volksgrenadiers, and just trying to chase them away as best as he can. But you can obviously tell that the Brits are much more solidified at the moment. Their VPs are still stuck at 500, whilst the Wehrmacht is counting down very steadily, very swiftly, down to 257 right now. That's halfway, just about halfway. And you can just tell they have a much better footing at the moment because of all their units. They've got the headquarters over here. Let's take a look actually at the other Brit really quickly. He's got all of his stuff. He's also got an MG Vickers emplacement just put down in this area. Very critical point to contest, because you have the fuel point obviously, but it's also very important. It's also a very important crossroads if you want to actually go between areas, and so they've actually just locked that down. Surprisingly, this pack not actually being taken out. I'm really surprised that these guys would actually just retreat and not bother to kill that stuff, but fair enough. Maybe their loss. All they were afraid of was a single Stormtrooper squad, I guess. But anyway, how is this Wehrmacht recovering at the moment? Well, he's got another sniper out, and what else does he have? That's all it really does look like he has put up with at the moment. And be careful, be careful, be careful. Lucky that recon squad is right on that side because the sniper is right here. Nope, the sniper's taking his opportunity, he's just waiting for his chance. And if they're gonna have some success, they need to go for the lieutenants. Kill those lieutenants while you can. Kill them, kill them, kill them. Captain taking very big damage there. Captain's quite easy to kill. I think it takes about 2 shots normally with the sniper to actually kill them. And just look at this. Look at this. What are they charging into? This is way too much to take on. Sniper getting a little bit too close. And they're just trying to hold in here, aren't they? The Brits are just so happy. Look at their points. 182. And coming down with a GG. This is way too preemptive. I mean, it's so... I mean, fair enough. You've got a very, very good holding of the map. But they're saying GG. I think that's way too early to be calling that. Fair enough. You got all this stuff come down. Even more Vickers. You've got these crawling SimCity, crawling emplacements. But still far too early to be actually calling out a good game. Because literally anything can happen. If it's something that we know from these more expert games, it's that we know that anything can happen in these. Anything can change. So... yeah, 155 and going down very, very fast here. Just look at it, 152, 3 points every time it takes a toll here. And the Wehrmacht are just so on the defense. They've got just MGs holding back everything that's trying to move forward. The Brits have these crawling defensive lines that keep on coming closer and closer and closer. How are the Wehrmacht going to handle this? Well, this is their entire force. This is what they're working with here. And notice that this Brit opponent is actually putting down a 17-pounder right on the front line. Smart of him to do so, to actually do that. Because now he can actually contest these Stu's, because a Stu would definitely be a hot target for the Brits. It'd be very difficult to take on because the Stu's are absolutely perfect when taking on loads of infantry and blobs and such. The sniper's doing a good job picking off these guys. But if it's one thing to maybe say about the Brits, they need something to actually protect this stuff. Look at this. You got the stormtroopers coming in cloaked from the side. Double Shreks, easy pickings. And that is the 17-pounder gone, leaving the Brits completely exposed over here. They are getting a little bit desperate. In fact, what they're doing is putting down artillery right on top of the targets over here for the Wehrmacht. And now the Stu is quite happy to move in safely unopposed. It only has buttoning that has to worry about, and also Piets, so it needs to be quite careful actually. But from the proper anti-tank counters such as the 17-pounder, the emplacements, it doesn't have to worry about that at all. At least that's one big burden off his shoulders, right? Piets missing quite badly, and another Stu is out on the field. Good counter to actually take on all of these Brits is actually, funnily enough, Stu's. Look at that, finishing off the entire Piet squad. Big losses for the Brits here. Losses that they shouldn't be taking right now. 65 points is still counting down. There is not much time to be working with here for the Wehrmacht, but they are whittling down the Brit forces. The Brits are just going for a, literally what their name says, a double Brit blob. And they're just blobbing up their men, and this is something that I really, really struggle sometimes to take on when I'm playing as a Wehrmacht, taking on Brit blobs. But Stu's are absolutely amazing. That's something that I've learned in quite recent days, is that Stu's are absolutely amazing on taking on Brit blobs and just infantry in general. You can easily kill lots of guys. You know, one is alright, but when you have the 2 or more Stu's, it just brings down guys like nothing. It brings them down like no tomorrow, right? Sniper's also providing good anti-infantry support here, and look at that one guy! Is he gonna go in for the kill? He's not gonna even bother. But I'm surprised he didn't even bother retreating, but oh well, I guess that's just the life. And the Brits are taking such heavy casualties here. In fact, let's actually go over to one of them. He has still quite a bit of manpower. He has still quite a bit of manpower. I'm actually quite surprised with the amount of manpower they have. It seemed like something that they would be struggling with. You'd be thinking like they would have tons and tons of reinforcement costs right now, but I guess not. But these guys are just pretty much ready to die here. Look at that, one or 2 men down, and they have barely no health to even work with here. They need to get out of here right now. They need to retreat. because they're just losing men. They're just losing men left and right now. Look at that one. I guess they're just trying to go in for a VP win. They're just trying to go in for a VP win, even if that means just keeping their guys there and sacrificing them. But luckily for the Wehrmacht, they've actually held the points down at 16. 16. Oh my gosh, what does this come down to? As I was saying, anything can actually happen in these games. Got it down to 16 VPs of their own. Just literally a few seconds from losing this game. And they've actually just held on to it, just clawing back into this as best as they can. They've managed to decap the victory points, and they're just holding on to them, trying to cap them as fast as they possibly can do. And the Brits are extremely desperate right now. They just really want to capture this stuff, just really want to go in for this VP win if they can. But look at that, even sacrificing the lieutenants and captains. Wow, we got the battlefield scattered with bodies of lieutenants and important officers from the British Army. Wow, that is definitely an act of desperation when you know that your opponent has just done something like that and just given up all of their veterancy that they've been trying to earn. That's when you know that they are desperate indeed. Brits have absolutely no chance of grabbing this back. They've got, what, 3 snipers? I saw maybe 2 snipers there. I don't know, something like that. Also, all these stews. It's going to be way too difficult for infantry to actually capture the stuff. If the Brits are going to do anything, they need some sort of like Sherman Fireflies right now, or some sort of tanks to actually take on all the stuff. Infantry is just something that they don't need at the moment. They need probably infantry and vehicles, some sort of tanks. If anything, I think one of the Brits should have actually gone for a quick rush for vehicles, rather than going for double Brit blobs. I don't think it's the most effective thing to do. It does whittle down on your manpower. So if one of them went for infantry, heavy infantry, then the other went for tanks as fast as possible, would have been a lot better IMO, in my opinion. But anyway, Stuart out on the field over here, just trying to pick off what he can. And as ArXmariens saying, KT is coming soon. Fair enough, King Tiger. You can just imagine the amount of XP that they've been earning just from all the stuff that's been going out on the field. Just all the kills, especially the Stews. You can see like every time they shoot, they kill like 4 guys, and it's just like what, 3 XP per kill or something. I don't know, something like that, right? You can just imagine how it must be just racking up all these command points, and they can just easily go on to whatever they need. So let's take a look at, is it ArXmariens? He's gone for Blitzkrieg, and he's just unlocked the Tiger. And this gentleman over here has gone for Defense Doctrine, so I guess he means Tiger, not King Tiger, because that's obviously the Terror Doctrine. And that is a Tiger just out in the field, just what they need. They've also got the Tales of Valor camouflage on this Tiger over here. And what do the Brits have? They got a Cromwell out in the field, also that 17-pounder. So I'm guessing that the Wehrmacht are a little bit worried because they don't have much in terms of anti-tank. They've got this pack and maybe a few Panzerschrecks, but this is what they need. This Tiger to make this a big frontal assault now. This is what they need to protect against any Sherman Fireflies and such things like that. Gonna be doing a great job, this Tiger in general, okay? Brits being brought down to their knees now. All of their bases are just crumbling apart. Their defenses on the right hand side were crushed. The Wehrmacht are doing what the Brits did to them, and now they're bunkering down with MGs and also half-built bunkers, men being killed trying to put it down. But this MG is still just staying here in this location because he's quite safe in this wee trench with the green cover providing him support. What the heck is that? I think that's actually a oh god, what are they called? Crawling artillery? It's not a crawling artillery. Creeping barrage, there we go. Fair enough, creeping barrage. And oh god, my throat is getting to me, guys. My throat is getting to me. Lucky for me that this replay isn't that long because it's really starting to get to me. I've got this sore throat and it's just bugging me. Sorry about that, I had to have another drink of water here. And the Brits, what have they done? It looks like they've actually got some sort of like priest, in fact. So they're actually going for artillery rather than direct units, okay. Direct unit, okay, fair enough, I don't know. In my opinion, priest probably isn't the best thing to be actually countering everything right now, but okay. But you can just tell that the Brits, like, they lost the right-hand side, and then they had all these defenses in the center, but they just had nothing to defend it. Their infantry were just being whittled down, and just nothing to keep it standing, their SimCity. And so that's just the... I think that's just the cause of just having too much infantry. You could tell by all these snipers and shtus, it's just too much for the Brits to handle. And plus, they got way too desperate about the VPs. Fair enough, they wanted to go for a VP win, but sometimes you just gotta know that you can't take it on. Sometimes you gotta know that you need to recover your ground, regroup with some other units such as tanks, and then maybe eventually try to push on the Wehrmacht again. But now it's just coming a little bit too late. Their buildings are being destroyed, and if I'm looking across the field right now, there's pretty much nothing left out here. Looks like a Cromwell command tank actually coming out, and that is it. So good game, yeah, GG. The Wehrmacht getting their revenge there on the Brits, who were so preemptive by actually saying GG because they actually thought they were going to win. And then fair enough, actually did look like they were going to win, but what a complete reversal. I guess that the infantry was the downfall of the Brits. Far too much infantry out in the field. One of them should have gone for vehicles, and they probably would have done a lot better than they did right now, that's for sure. And also desperation. Desperation. They were a bit too desperate to hold those VPs. If they didn't actually lose so many of their units, they could actually have maybe made a comeback. You never know. They could have retreated off the fields and just regrouped elsewhere. And I don't know, maybe they could have actually got back into the fight, grabbed at least 2 VPs and just won. It's not even that far away. Oh gosh. Brit's so desperate to actually get a victory here, and that's clearly not going to happen. 13 points left for the Wehrmacht, and the game is over because they clearly just dropped out. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that. What a reversal. Short game, 22 minutes, but action-packed right on throughout. What the hell is this? A bunker right in the middle of a trench. I didn't know you could do that, but that's quite smart to be doing that. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Quite short and sweet, and lots of action right on throughout. Very fast reversal of events. So I hope you learned a few things out of that, especially for the Brits parts. And I love that the Wehrmacht had persistence in that. They did lose quite a lot of units to that one Bren carrier. If I was to say anything, maybe they should have put down a mine on the retreat path. A mine is never a horrible thing, especially on your retreat paths. If you got snipers out in the field, always have a mine in the retreat path. If anything, you should maybe have it along the rails, or even if you want something more guaranteed, you could put it on the crossroads over here or along the road over here as well. Because if anything tries to chase down your snipers, they're going to be probably guaranteed to go down along that direction. And even just, it doesn't even have to be snipers. They could chase down any of your units, and that's what we saw with the Pioneers and the MG, and they just died instantly. So if a mine was there, could have actually saved the day. But anyway, guys, that's the cast for today. Yeah, I hope you guys can understand what's going on in my life right now, and I'm just trying to move on with things, and oh, I wish things were really different. I wish, you know, she was different, and she could understand what she's doing and what 3.5 years meant to each other, but I don't know, maybe she'll realize that in the future and she'll regret it, but I think it's just immaturity for now and she's just growing up, okay? But anyway guys, until next time, have a very nice day.